Hey guys, how's it going? I'd like to talk to you about something real quick. Now again, warning, every time I say something a little bit quick, it ends up taking longer than what I mean it to. And I gotta be honest, I've been a little bit tired and I'm kind of probably gonna be struggling through this video, but anyways, I'd like to talk to you guys about something like social anxiety, okay? We are just now beginning to understand how that feels. And by that, I mean, like, I got me that's going through this Thrive program, and you can buy the book on Amazon, but I gotta be honest, it might be a little bit tricky to find it because apparently when you type when you type Thrive on Amazon, everything kind of goes all over the place, and there's tons of books called Thrive. And I realized today that not today, I realized a couple days ago that I'm part of three, Kyle, what were those called? Learning style. There you go. Personality types. And one of those would be paranoid. One of those would be, to be honest, they were the first three, so go check out the book. You can buy it on Amazon for $10, and then the program to read it and download it is free. It was written by a British guy in Britain. It's quite a good book. And I gotta be honest, I'm struggling to sometimes focus on it because, the world is set up to take you down, right? So, hear me out on this. Now, when you read these types, you will, if you're honest with yourself, you will figure it out. And you will find it out. And you cannot better yourself unless you're willing to cut through the bullshit and just say, okay, that's the way I am. Not let a talk show tell you how you are. Not let some internet article tell you how you are. You need to be straight up. You cannot better yourself and better your soul unless you're straight up. Now, that may take a bit to figure out. The only reason I found this program was through a program that I went through, and they said, hey, call this guy. And is there times when you're reading the book and you're going to go, holy crap, this guy's kind of repetitive? Yeah, but that's the way it is. Is there times when you're still going to have anxiety? But yeah, that's the way it is. But when I was talking to a friend of mine about some stress that was going on in their life, and they were so stressed and so stressed and so stressed to the point that I told my other friend, I don't even want to go over there and I want to go over there, but I don't want to stay over there forever because I'm just going to go crazy. Now, the fact of the matter is, we can only change, and I hate to sound like Dr. Phil here, but that's true. That's where I've heard it. We can only change what we acknowledge. Okay? Or you can end up like me and be up for 3 days, or not necessarily 3 days straight, and you can toss and turn and obsess about missing certain people. Now, the reason I'm making this video today is, well, to be honest, because I'm tired and I want to be honest with you people. Okay? The fact of the matter is, I've pushed away one of my best friends with my anxiety disorder. Now, he didn't turn around and say, well, I'm not talking to you anymore. I can't deal with this shit. I'm not doing it. But deep down, I know that's what happened, because when I went through an anxiety meltdown, he was around for a little bit, and then when I said, out of shame, thank you for sticking with me, shortly after that, he unfriended me. He probably thought, well, holy shit, this guy's not going to change. I showed up on 3 days with no sleep, a little bit of drugs. I didn't feel like it fit in. I could be angry at the world all I want, but you know what? I created some of this anxiety because I sat there and I said, nobody gets me. Nobody fucking understands me. No, you know what they did? I created a paranoid thinking style. I created well, you might as well just put it plain simple and say I created a negative thinking style. Because I was so mad at the world. Does the world own some of what happened to me? Damn right. And to say it's not part of the world is bullshit. But to sit there and say that it's all of the world is also bullshit. And that's probably even the bigger bullshit, because you're sitting there and you're blaming the world. Does that mean when you sit there and you take charge that everything's going to be perfect? No. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to walk in to your negative thoughts, if we want to put it in a visual perspective. You're not going to sit there in your negative thoughts and you're not going to say, get the fuck out of here. I'm taking control. What you're going to say is, I'm taking control. I'm chipping away at the stone. Fuck you. You don't necessarily have to swear, but you don't want to turn out like me, almost 40 years old, and sitting there going, well, why the hell did I take so long? I am looking at taking certain control, because outside influences always have control, and I will get into that on Thursday, because we are just starting the ball rolling on a certain situation, and if anybody wants to join us, they will, but I will get into that another day. The point of the matter is, I chose to sit there and say, what am I so stressed out about? I called around. I called Canadian Mental Health. I didn't get no answers. I called another clinic, and guess what? I got an answer. And I realized when I was trying to research some stuff on my own to make sure I wasn't being paranoid, guess what? On a certain level, it was making me more paranoid. And that doesn't mean that it's not fixable. What it means is it might not happen overnight, but I gotta sit there and say, okay, whoa, what am I worried about? I know what my intention is. What the hell am I worried about? What we need to sit there and we need to ask ourselves is, what are we so stressed out about? What are we so angry about? This program will make you sit there and think. You might not put it in the book terms, but you will think before you even finish it. And one thing I want to do is sit there on my YouTube channel and sit there and look at a way to break this down for everybody. Not to say that the author wasn't good, but if I can help someone with a learning disability take away the intimidation of reading of an ebook, or take away the intimidation reading from someone you know who's got an accent and is going to use English language to get his point across. Which, by the way, I've never met this guy, but if that's the way he chooses to do it, and you can sit there and ask questions and fix it, why not, right? So the one thing we gotta ask ourselves as people with anxiety is, do we want to push friends away? Now, that's not to make people feel guilty, but I know the friend that unfriended me on Facebook and stopped answering my calls. I know that part of the problem is he was tired of my crap. Because I used to show up at this guy's place high after 3 days, and I was always like, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. We're best friends. Please don't. I want that brother connection. Am I going to get it right away? No. Especially not when I'm calling this guy, showing up high, and mad at the world, and mad at myself for not being true to who I am, and showing up high on cocaine and shit. Like, I know there's only so much in human nature people can take. And I'm telling you right now, if you're listening to this, but you know who I am. Okay? You know. You need to understand I love you. You're like a brother to me, no matter if you quit answering my calls and you unfriended me on Facebook. You're a brother to me, and well, I'm going to break with a little bit of my tradition here, but Jason, you're my buddy. I love you. I pushed you away with my drug bullshit. I know I did. I'll never forget the mental image of my nose starting to bleed in front of you, and I'm bawling my eyes out because somebody else that was high on drugs didn't want to be my friend anymore. I'm searching for a family. I've been searching for a long time. I didn't go about it the right way, and I pushed him away. We need to find a balance where you can find a friend, and if you have social anxiety, and you can say to them, I have social anxiety, but it's not fair to us or them to push their anxiety and use them, or not their anxiety, our anxiety, and use them as a security blanket. It's not fair. That's exactly what I did to Jason. And I apologize for that. I pushed and I pushed, and I knew sometimes I was pushing, but I thought, deep down, how much does he love me? Not romantically, but as a friend. And we don't even, it's like an emotional high the more we push our friends. And the more we realize that they're there for our anxiety. They're not going, they may be there for us, but there's only so much social energy we can pull out of them. So honestly, what we need to do is we need to stop, and we don't even realize we're doing it. The more I used to be like, please don't leave me, please don't leave me. The more he said, I'm not going to, it was like an emotional high. And I was like, okay, I'm comfortable. He's not going to leave. I get it, friends with anxiety. I totally get it. The more we ask a friend, the more we push for that security, the better we feel for the moment. But guess what? It's just like a high. It's not going to last as long. We can ask a friend, but a friend won't need to answer that. A friend won't let you ask that question. Jason did, but Jason was young just like I am. Jason was a year younger than me. So he thought he was doing good by asking that question. And you know what? Some anxiety can be cured by God's plant. Some of it can. You gotta find the right strain. You gotta find the right stuff. Because some of it can't. You do not want to get the wrong strain, and you also do not want to just use cannabis as an excuse. You don't. You don't want to sit there and feel like I can only get through by smoking a joint, because the only way you can get through is by examining yourself to a point, and by praying to a point, and by using God's plan to a point. We cannot push our friends away with social anxiety. I will not go to a friend's house, not because I don't love them, not because I don't care about them, but because they have social anxiety in themselves, and I don't want their anxiety to infect my anxiety. And you know what? We need to open there's no shame in anxiety, but there also becomes a codependency on anxiety. And we need to figure it out. We need to examine the brain. There's no shame in mental illness of anxiety. Hallelujah. There's no shame in it, period. There's no shame in God's plan, period. If you're using it for the right purposes. By the right purposes, I don't mean get drunk, get high, get messed up just for the sake of getting drunk, getting high, and getting messed up. We need to realize social anxiety is only at the beginning of being understood. There's a part in this book I'm reading where it says the more you ask a friend about something, the more you try to ask them, that's a sign of control. That gives a fake sense of control. And I will get more into this on, later on in the week. But please realize there's no shame in social anxiety. And realize that you can have social anxiety at 8, 6, 10, 12, 32, 42, 52. There's no shame in it. But we got to find a balance. You cannot just use God's plan. And you cannot just use prayer. You got to do both if your body can handle it. Praise God. Thank you for listening to this video. And please forgive me for the couple of minutes it took me to find the words. But God gave them to me, and we will figure this out together. If you have anxiety, and even if you don't, and you're 18 years of age or older, and you want to explain some stuff to us and reach out to us, we will answer your questions. It might take us a day or two. And you know what? If you want to subscribe and you're 18 years of age or older, go ahead. And if you want to consider finding God's plan to cure your cancer or help your cancer, anxiety, or whatever the case may be, find a way to do that through your city. And if you're in Canada, if you're Ontario, we may help you and send you the applications. Subscribe to us, and we will help you figure this out. And I'm going to sleep because I've been up for quite a bit.